Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. My name's Nicole with a Guiding Arrow, and thank you so much for being here today. Today we are going through what is blocking your manifestations. So there are 4 piles. We have this first pile where it says, oh goodness, all right, life is simple and easy. We have pile 2. The point of power is always in the present moment. Pile 3, I trust my inner wisdom. And pile 4, the past is over. I'm going to go ahead and break down the reading after this, so if you want to take just a moment to pause the video and pick your pile. And while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about what's in the reading. Okay, so we have what's blocking your manifestation. We're going to go over the card that you picked because each of these have a message in the back for you to receive. And then what limiting beliefs are holding you back. We're going to use the tarot for that. And also what perceived obstacles are in your way. And then we are going to use the Tarot of the Divine. We're going to pull one card, and then also its correlating story, and I'm going to read that for you for guidance. We also have, we're going to use these Clow Cards that I got as well, the Keepers of the Light Oracle, and then the Sacred Creator Oracle, and then my custom channel messages as well. So this is going to have a lot of guidance, and I hope that you'll be able to find the messages that you need through here. So with that being said, go ahead, if you haven't already done so, pick a pile, and I'll see you guys in your reading. Hi there, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Life is Simple and Easy card, this reading is for you. So there is a power message in the back of the card. It is, all that I need to know at any given moment is revealed to me. I trust myself and I trust life. All is well. So if you want to screenshot that, you can. There you go. Boom. So today we are going to be looking at what limiting beliefs are holding you back, and then what perceived obstacles are in your way. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and shuffle the tarot. So the tarot portion is probably not going to be the longest part of this reading. It's going to be all the guidance. So I hope you stick around for that. And then please let me know. It's really important if you enjoy this reading to like this video, so that way more people get a chance to see it. And then we'll do one last shuffle. So I can kind of already tell just from the card that you picked, one of your limiting beliefs is most likely that you have to work hard to have the things that you want in life. Flow is probably something that is a little bit difficult for you. But let's go ahead and get into the tarot. All right, so what limiting beliefs are holding pile 1 back? Okay. All right. Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks for that. Wow, okay. This is the first card that came out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and prompt this on my little opalite heart. I'm going to move these up, and then I want to ask our other question, and then we'll get into the reading because there's a lot here. Okay, and then what perceived obstacles does pile 1 believe that is in their way? What perceived obstacles are... Okay. All right. Gotta love when they make it easy. All right. Okay, we'll put that there. Perfect. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Can you see all of your cards? All right. might have to zhuzh a little bit so that way you guys can see all of your cards. Or you know what? Yeah, let's... I just want to see how we can make this work. All right. I'm probably going to put you guys off to the side right now for right now. There you go. So that way at least you can see everything. All right. So we have the 10 of Wands. We have the 10 of Swords. We have the 7 of Wands. We have the Magician in the reverse. We have the Ace of Wands. That is for what limiting beliefs are holding you back from your manifestation. And then what perceived obstacles are in your way is the Page of Pentacles. You have the 4 of Cups and the Fool. Wow. Okay, pile 1. You have a really hard time not carrying a load. And what I said initially here, it's like life is simple and easy. I feel like you were super drawn to this pile and you kind of were like, when you saw this card, you're probably like, okay, life is simple and easy. I can tell that you have a very hard time allowing things to happen in your life. There's a huge sense of control. There's a huge sense of control. I'm feeling gripped out right now. So it's like you have a really tight control on how things need to be in your life. And this comes from a lot of, like you guys got the two tens that aren't really the nicest tens of the tarot, because you have here the 10 of Wands where it's like all about overbearing and holding on, and it seems like the reason why you're having a hard time with your limiting beliefs, your limiting belief is that things need to be hard. That's like the biggest thing, in that you can't trust anybody. And it's like these past experiences over and over and over again that you have consistently just used as a vehicle to prove that your manifestations aren't coming in. So, because the fact is that we have the Magician, which is the master manifester of the entire arcana, major arcana, is in reverse here, is telling me that like you're not recognizing. Let me take that back. Well, yeah, you're not recognizing the amount that you're closing yourself off to things that want to come in. With this Ace of Wands here at the end of this line, your limiting beliefs are holding back things that really want to come in. And it's like you have this fear of welcoming new things in, celebrating anything, because you're sitting there waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it's very difficult for you to let your guard down because you've had so many past mistakes or past traumas or past issues that have come in, and you consistently use it to prove yourself right, that, you know what, no, I have to bust my ass to get this, that, or the other thing. Love, oh my God, okay. All right. I'm channeling a little bit here, and it's like really, there's a lot that needs to be said here, pile 1. You have a really rough time with your limiting beliefs because you're constantly using past situations to invalidate your hopes. And it's like as soon as something nice comes in, you're like, nope, we're gonna shut that down real quick. And you're just not allowing anything to come in. With the seven of Wands here right in the middle, it's kind of like you're constantly at a battle with yourself because you're like, you really want to have this hope, but like, you're like, well, this person broke my heart before and all these other things. Here's the thing. Pile 1. This is a lesson that I have personally learned, honestly, recently. I heard these words when I was getting energy work done, and it broke me. So if you, please understand, I'm saying this because you need to be released of this, but you do not need to suffer in order to have good things in your life. You don't. You do not. Life can be simple, it can be easy, but you have to not let past things be in your hands anymore. Like these are all your past situations, and it's like let's say for example, like you always are carrying this load with you to the point where it's like ruining you. But like the thing is like your limiting belief has a lot to do with you using your past to either invalidate good things or validate the bad things. And what you have to recognize is that while you have gone through what you have gone through, your past does not dictate your future. You, in your current moment, will dictate what's going to happen in the future. So you need to give yourself a break. Put the wand down, stop beating it's like I can see literally you sitting there like kind of playing baseball, like someone's pitching you something really, like a really nice opportunity, or someone's like offering you a really nice chance at love, or someone is offering you help or assistance or something that's going to help you feel like you can put your head above your water, and you're just like batting home runs like nobody's business. You're just like, nope. Nope. Like this is you right now. Like you are constantly batting away good things because you're like, no, the last time this happened, I got hurt. No, the last time I pursued something like this, I failed. The last time I did this, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Or it worked out exactly how I thought it was, because you're looking through it at a lens of the hurt that you've had before. And it's like, you know the saying where it's like, if you don't heal the wounds that you, like, if you don't heal your wounds, you're going to cut people who never hurt you, except the person that you're hurting is yourself. And, like, you're constantly only hurting yourself because you're denying yourself all of these wonderful things that want to come into your life because of your past situations. And I highly recommend, and I'm saying this with love, Pile One, I've been in your shoes. If you... And again, like, I'm not a therapist. I highly recommend going to therapy and approaching it. If you've done it before, fine. Find somebody else. Try it out. No two therapists are alike. But if you walk in there with the determination that you are going to succeed in healing the things that you want to heal, like, if you sit there and you're like, okay, you know what? I have this limiting belief. I want to heal this. Okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell my therapist, these are the things that I want to work on. These are the things that I want to do. If you go in there with a goal, a good therapist is going to help you achieve that goal. Because limiting beliefs are difficult. They are very difficult to get rid of on our own sometimes. Not always. There's always a possibility of healing it. And there's a lot of great resources. Obviously, there's great communities all around. But the past, life doesn't need to be hard. Life does not need to be hard. Like, your limiting belief is that everything needs to come with blood, sweat, and tears. And past situations. You're using past situations as and I say this with love, an excuse to watch cycles repeat again. And what's interesting is that you've probably also tried manifesting before and you didn't see it happen the way that you thought it would. And so you've kind of put this off. Like right now you're probably watching this reading, humoring yourself a little bit, kind of going, oh, well, let's see where this takes us. And here you are. That is your limiting belief. All right. So what are your perceived obstacles that are in your way? The reason why I say perceived is because you can either look at something as a problem or a solution. And when I say a solution, sometimes those things are the obstacles that stand between us, and a lesson that we are learned is the beautiful thing that helps us add another tool into our toolkit of dealing with situations. So I can see that there's been a huge waiting period for you. And an obstacle is knowing where to begin. I don't see you as complacent, though. I see you as a very hardworking individual. And I think that the thing that's blocking you is that you're having a really hard time seeing how things are coming to you. And like, these are the things that you're having a really rough time with when it comes to manifesting. You don't know how it's going to happen, and you don't know where to start. So, you don't know where to begin, and you're having a hard time seeing how it's going to happen. And what a lot of people don't recognize is that there's a lot to manifesting. It is far from being a chore. It's actually really exciting when you get into it, but it can seem daunting if you have no idea where to start. The best thing to do to start is to understand that manifestation works best when you recognize that your external reality is a direct reflection of your internal world. That being said, if you're constantly trying to control how things are going to happen, one of the biggest things of manifesting, you need to know this right now, just because when I started, no one told me about this. I've had to figure a lot of these things out on my own. You have to treat your manifestations like you're putting in an order at a restaurant. You're not going to constantly badger the waiter going like, or waitress, wait staff, like, hey, did you put my order in? Hey, is the food coming? When is the food coming? You know what I mean? Like, there is first off, if you're doing that to wait staff, please stop doing that. They hate that. If you're that impatient, just cook at home. But that being said, and I don't think you do, I'm just saying, shout out to food service employees, because they never get enough credit and they get paid awful wages, and it breaks my heart. Anywho, rant aside, but the thing is, there's this level of trust that kind of has to happen. And whether or not you believe in a higher power or not, there is a level of trust and surrender that needs to happen in order for manifestations to be able to come in. It's kind of like, some people take it literally, where it's like, if you want to manifest love, you should make room for your partner in your space, right? Like, you should empty out a drawer and, like, not have your entire bed covered in books. Anywho, not saying that from experience, but, like, you sit there and you say, I want this. I am this. And then that's what's going to bring that in. And that's where you can start. But what I can say, pile one, is where you can start the most is learning to get comfortable with not having control on the outcome. And I'm actually going to refer you to Roxy Talks. That is a YouTube channel I love very, 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 very much. She's a great manifesting coach. You can vie to have her. I think she has like a workshop or something, but I will tell you, her YouTube channel and her Instagram is chock full of great manifesting tips. So you can start there if you would like. She is great. She's, abrasive is not the word. So please don't, she's not abrasive. She's very clear cut. And she's not going to sugarcoat stuff. Like, if you are not doing your homework, of course you're not going to get your manifestations. And I think a big one for you, your biggest limiting belief, pile one, is using your past to validate bad things happening to you. Like, for example, if you've I'm going to have to use love as an example because it's just the easiest example. Let's say, for example, you've had a chain of really bad relationships, and so that's all you view love as, and you're like, oh, like, why should I get into a relationship? Because all these things have happened before. It's just going to happen again. Well, you saying that is going to manifest this situation going over and over and over again. Another book I can recommend to you also is The Energy of Abundance by Phyllis King. That's a really good one. It helps with limiting beliefs as well. But yeah, so I would highly recommend you tackle your limiting belief first before you get started. But also trying to figure out how it's going to happen is going to be your biggest obstacle. Celebrate your wins and let go of control. Like, you literally have to kind of you kind of have to be nonchalant about your manifestations, where you're just like, oh, I'm gonna manifest $100,000, and I'm just going to put that out into the universe, and I'm not gonna worry about it. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. I'm gonna trust it's gonna come. So, but yeah, okay, so those were your 2 questions. And now we're going to get a chock full of guidance, because that's what I like to do. I don't want to just sit there and just poke at you. I want to be able to help you. So, all right. So, I'm going to go through all of the oracles, and then I'm going to leave the Tarot of the Divine for the last, but I'll draw the card first, go through the other oracle cards, and then we're going to read the book, the folklore and or fairy tale that is associated with the card that is pulled. All right, so we have, right, I said the Tarot of Divine. So we're just taking 1 card. Spirit, can you please give us a relevant story? Artemis, please give us a relevant story to be able to guide pile 1 into the right direction, to help them conquer any blocks in their manifestation. One more for good luck. Okay. Alrighty. Please give us a good direction to go. Please give us 1 good card. 1. I said 1. I said 1. All right. We're going to keep them out. I'll figure it out. All right. And then we've got the Clow cards. I am not great at shuffling these, so please bear with me. They're so big. My hands are not that big. 2. Okay. Please, 1 card for... Oh my god, this is too... Okay. Guidance for pile 1. What's something that they can do to help with their blocks and manifestation, please? Oh, okay. The twin. Okay, so it usually asks for 2. The Lidl. These are such cute cards. I love them. Okay, self-care. Okay. Okay, so create. Please give us guidance for pile 1. What can we do to be able to conquer their limiting beliefs, please? Please, thank you. All right. What else else did I say? Okay, Keepers of the Oracle, Keepers of the Light Oracle. So this might be someone who wants to work with you, but also just some messages that you may need to hear. Okay. Interesting. Cool. All right, so here are your channeled messages. Any more for pile 1, please? Okay. 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 All right. Trust your damn intuition. You need to be kinder to yourself. Oh, love it. And then you're worthy of love. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right. Sorry, these some of these cards are becoming a little messy. All right, so we have the Hierophant, the King of Swords. I'm actually being called to grab the King of Swords story, so we'll go ahead and do that one. This is the White Buffalo. What I'll do is I'll flip to her, and then you can take a screenshot, but I'm only reading one. We have 43, the Twin. We have 24, the Little. We have 3, the Muse. We have Sanat Kumara with Light Activation. You shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. We did these, and then I kind of want to just... Oh, I love that. Here you go. You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin? Chaplin? Yeah, there you go. There you go, pile 1. Damn. Couldn't have said it better than myself. All right, so pile 1. The guidance that I can give you. You've dimmed your light for such a long time, and you've lost what it's like to have fun and to be a little kid again. You used to have such wonderful imaginary friends. And it's that fun and that inspiration, that excitement that you've lost. And what you don't recognize is that you're a co-creator. What you don't recognize is that you are the center of your world. You are not the center of anybody else's. It's your light. It's your kindness. It's your heart. And yet here you are, dwindling like a dying flame. You need to cultivate the love for yourself again. Life, your life, has so many more chapters in it than you give yourself credit for. But it's time for you to have fun. It's time for you to have joy. It's time for you to understand that you are the precipice that is going to be the determination for the rest of your life. And yet here you are, abusing it and hurting it and not allowing yourself to be excited, to be happy, to be kind to yourself. You deserve the world, and honestly, it's time for you to give yourself that chance. But what you have to recognize is that it starts with you. Trust. Trust in us. Trust in yourself. And allow. Allow good things to happen. Allow good things to be there for you. Allow wonderful things to happen and surprise you. Because once you allow your light to shine, you're going to ignite so many more other people. But that is not the reason why you do things. You have to come for a center of joy. You have to do things for yourself. You have to do things that make your little self very happy. Inner child healing is going to be such a huge guidance system for you. Give yourself that chance. Because nobody else is going to give it to you but yourself. If you constantly keep raining negativity on the wood of the fire that is supposed to be lighting the spark of your life, it won't be able to catch blaze. So you need to give yourself that chance. You need to take care of yourself. You need to stoke your own fire by doing things that make you happy, by recognizing the fact that life can truly be a life of ease. And as soon as you recognize that, I'm telling you, there's going to be a blaze. You have to learn how to enjoy and have fun in your life. You have to learn and have fun. Because that's what's going to carry you forward. That's what's going to bring things in for you. So figure out what TLC needs to come into that light of yours for you to regain that passion in your life. Because right now, all we can tell you is that the way you've been operating is not going to make anything different in the future. It's not until you flip that switch for yourself that you're going to start seeing the ripple effect of amazing and beautiful, wonderful things that will consistently bring that happiness and that guidance into you, into your life. Because at the end of the day, we are telling you this message, but you know how bright you can shine. And you're the one who's been blowing out the candle every single time. So be kind. Be kind to yourself. And allow ease. Allow ease. Okay, so we've got the King of Swords. King of Swords is back over here. So this is Griffin. This is Persia. I'm trying to see. Okay, so we have Griffin, Persia mythology. I hope I don't have to keep flipping. If I do, I'm going to pause the video. 149 Griffin. Ah ha ha ha. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lift this book. We're going to see if my camera is going to be kind. You can screenshot this and try to read it. If you're having a hard time seeing or reading the cards, I also recommend bumping the quality up to the video because YouTube automatically sets it at like 360, I think, or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to get all ASMR up in here. Griffins are a giant hybrid creature, part lion and part eagle. As griffins are the kings of both animals and birds, their majesty and power represent wisdom and strength in war. Their claws have medicinal properties, and their feathers can cure blindness. They guard treasure. Wherever a griffin is found, gold deposits are sure to be nearby. They even build nests of gold they dig out of rocks. Pliny the Elder, a Greek historian, wrote of how the one-eyed warrior, Armispian people, constantly waged war with the griffins that live near them. The warriors lived near the foot of the Rhipaean mountains in the northern Scythia and fought continually with the griffins who defended their rivers of gold. Griffins also mate for life. Strictly loyal to their partners, they will not take a new mate even if their significant other dies. So they have come to represent monogamous unions, unwavering devotion. Their mixture of sky and ground animals means that they are able to traverse both in the air and the land, representing the connection between heaven and earth, the divine and the human. Griffins have traveled far and wide. They have been in paintings and sculptures since the ancient times, in the Iranian art, and even in ancient Egyptian works. Griffins have also been documented in Syria, Anatolia, and Greece. They are the frescoes of the throne room at the place of Knossos of Crete, on Crete. They have been recording as far east as Central Asia and India. They also appear frequently in the heraldry of Western Europe. Griffins also sometimes depicted as the creature that pulls Apollo's chariot. Apollo is the Greek god of healing, medicine, archery, poetry, and music. One of the 12 Olympians and the most powerful of the pantheon of gods. He originally only watched after the sun god's Helios' cattle, but eventually he became the god that pulled the sun across the sky each day with flying griffins, stronger than oxen pulling his chariot. Okay, let me get you the white buffalo so that way you can screenshot that if you want. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to at least try. Where is she? Oh, I'm not in the page where she is at. That would be why. White Buffalo Woman 13. She way up front. All right. There you go. You can go ahead and screenshot that if you want to read that at some point. Also, if you're interested in this book, it's called Beneath the Moon, which coincides with the tarot deck, but you don't need to buy the book in order to appreciate the tarot. But yeah, okay, so to wrap up your reading, pile 1, I'm just going to talk about how there is a marriage between spirit and land, and I think that right now one of the biggest things that you can also do to honor yourself is to accept the fact that you are human, but to start making changes for yourself, doing things out of love for yourself rather than the obligation to others. And try maybe start there. Make a little list of things that you want to do, and then what you can do is by tackling it, you can kind of go bit by bit, piece by piece, and start incorporating more joy, more small moments for yourself. Because when people are like, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have this, I don't have that, you're already creating blocks because you're kind of creating excuses. Listen, we all have life to live, and I get that. And some of us have a lot more obligation when it comes to certain areas of our life. But if it just means 5 minutes, you could pause this video right here and go do something for yourself and time yourself for 5 minutes. If it's just 5 minutes of you just sitting and breathing and just trying to find those small moments, small pockets for yourself more and more and more, the more you're going to find the gold that you've been hiding from yourself all this time. So, all right, pile 1. That was your reading. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a like. Please go ahead and follow if you would like to get more readings from me in the future. And please leave a comment. Did this resonate? Did you enjoy the reading? Do you have questions about manifestation? I will say that I'm working on a lot of projects coming up, so feel free to follow me on all my social medias as the guiding arrow, because she iconic, so we have to make sure we're the one and only. But anywho, thank you so much for being here, pile 1. I'm sending you so much love. I hope you enjoyed this reading, whether it would be day or night when you watch this, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you chose the point of power is always in the present moment, then this reading's for you. This pile's for you. I mean, yes. So the back of every single one of these cards are power statements. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it, and then I'll show it to you so that way you guys can screenshot it. The past is over and done. It has no power over me. I can begin to be free in this moment. Today's thoughts create my future. I am in charge. Now take my own power. I take my own power back. I am safe and I am free. Okay. This is giving me pile 1 vibes a little bit too. So, oh, yes. And if you want to screenshot that, let me just see if I can get a good... It's going to focus and you can see it. There you go. All right. Well, as close as you can get it. All right. So I'm going to put your card there. If you felt drawn to pile 1, even just a little bit, you might want to also check it out. I'm just going to put that there just from this alone. All right. So, I know we broke down the reading from pile in the intro, but just as a reminder, we are going to be looking at, through the tarot, what limiting beliefs are holding you back, and then what perceived obstacles are in your way. And then I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards. I'm also going to be using the Tarot of the Divine, and then whatever card comes out, we're going to read the associated fairy tale folklore through the book that is associated with that mythology or story. And then I'm also going to channel whatever messages come in through the oracle. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with your reading. Okay, so what limiting beliefs are holding pile 2 back? 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 Is there anything else? Okay. All right, and the next thing we're going to look at is what perceived obstacles are in the way of your manifestations. What perceived obstacles are in the way of pile 2's manifestations? Perceived obstacles are in the way of pile 2's manifestations. Okay. What perceived obstacles are in the way? Ooh, interesting. All right. Cool. All right, pile 2. Limiting beliefs. Your limiting belief. I really don't like to take the literal meaning of the card, but there's so the point of power is always in the present moment was the card that you chose. And while I was saying that if you were drawn to pile 1, go pick pile 1, but you guys have your own set of limiting beliefs that we should probably talk about. Because your limiting beliefs have to do with your power. And I see a lot of doom scrolling. Like a lot of doom scrolling, and that can be in any form. If you don't know what doom scrolling is, it's pretty much like if you, let's say for example, your doctor gives you, and this is, please understand this isn't medical advice, but your doctor tells you have high blood pressure, and you go and you look into high blood pressure, and then you see all the side effects, and then you see the like the heart attack or whatever it leads up to, right? And then you're just constantly scrolling and you're looking more into it, and it's throwing you into a really bad tizzy, and you just keep looking, like American politics a little bit sometimes too. And then you're just like constantly scrolling. What you're not realizing is that you're giving your power away. That's your limiting belief, is that you perceive yourself to be powerless in situations. You perceive yourself to have no strength, to have, like, there's a lot of unrest here, and the way that you're perceiving it, and the way that you're perceiving the way that you're giving your power away is completely different to what you're actually doing. Your limiting belief has a lot to do with you deep diving into negatives, deep diving into your anxieties, and it's kind of like if there was a button, and because I need to be good because of YouTube, but like if there was a button that you were constantly pressed, that you knew if you pressed it, it would freak you out. It's like a little bit of you gets a bit of a thrill from you doing this. Like you keep pressing that button, wearing yourself out consistently over and over and over and over again, thinking that you're this powerless person. And the more you run yourself rampant, this kind of like transitions right into what's blocking you. Because it's like, the Empress in reverse here. Oh, I'm sorry. I went straight into the reading. You have the World card here. You have the Four of Swords in reverse. You have the Nine of Swords in reverse. You have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You have and that is for your limiting beliefs. And then you have here on the bottom the things that might be blocking your way. Perceived obstacles. So you have the Empress in reverse, you have the Six of Cups upright, and you have the Knight of Swords upright. Okay. Let me get back into it. So it's kind of like you're giving your power away to the world. That's what's blocking your manifestation. You're sitting here thinking you're a very, very powerless person, and you're consistently giving away your energy, giving away so much, to the point where like you're not really taking care of yourself. And that's where we're going to come into this obstacle here, right? So you have the Empress here in reverse. The Empress is all about self-care. She is the self-care goddess. She's not the queen. She's the self-care goddess. She is comfortable. Like, look at her. She is comfortable sitting on her throne. She's wearing comfy ass clothes. Like, there's nothing skin tight about that. She's got pillows. She has a lot of things to harvest. I believe she has either strawberries or pomegranates on her dress, which symbolizes a lot of fertility, and then like also the divine wisdom from just receiving things in general. You also have water here in nature. So she is the goddess of just comfort and the feminine energy. And what I'm seeing here is that you doom scrolling has been really contributing to your anxiety and sleepless nights, and you not taking care of yourself. Like, I'm getting a lot of Grinch energy. Like, if you don't get your sleep, you are a raging person. And every time we start this reading, Spirit wants to go straight to the guidance. And I'm like, Spirit, we need to be able to show them what's blocking them before we can give them the divine guidance. Okay. So yeah, well, what you have to recognize is that I feel like this is going to be the theme. Your internal dialogue is going to be the determining factor for your external reality. So if you're seeing yourself as powerless, you're going to see yourself powerless in your everyday life, in your everyday world, which is, I can tell. Like, you can tell just from like seeing the Four of Swords, which is all about rest and recuperation and taking a step back to clear your mind. And then you have the Nine of Swords here, which is anxiety, sleepless nights, like mental unrest to the extreme. Like, if you thought the Three of Swords was bad, the Nine of Swords is the one that's just like complete, like the mental unrest never left. There was no healing from it. And like, you have this Ace of Pentacles back here where it's like, usually this is a card that's like all about giving, but it's like you don't even feel powerful enough to even provide for anybody, not even yourself. And that is the narrative that you're choosing to operate your life through and giving away this power to, when in reality, you're so much more stronger and powerful than you give yourself credit for. But the problem is that you not taking care of yourself is creating this obstacle that you are like creating this vicious cycle, which that's the World card. The World card is all about cycles, right? Of imbalance and not being like, you're consistently creating cycles within every area of your life because you're constantly telling yourself you don't have the power or the strength or capacity to be able to make those changes. When in reality, it's like, if you make small changes every day in your life to give yourself more power, more narrative, and honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, stop the doom scrolling. I don't need cards for that. You need to stop the doom scrolling. You have to give yourself, like, you need to catch yourself. You have to create that awareness for yourself and go, okay, we are falling. And here's the thing, doom scrolling can also be spiraling and overthinking and playing into your anxieties. What you have to recognize is that your anxiety is the thing that rationalizes everything. Your intuition will be a knowing, calm, quiet voice within a body part of yours. For some people, it's the back of their heads. They have the hair standing up. Some people have the chills down their arms. Other people have the feeling in their gut. You know, it depends on where you feel it. And the more you numb that for deep diving into your anxieties, this quieter and the less sure you are about that voice. And that's something that you can do to reclaim your power. Okay. And then things that are blocking you, perceived obstacles. So you not taking care of yourself is not a perceived obstacle. That is an actual obstacle that you need to check off your basic needs before you touch your damn phone or whatever way that you spiral. Because what you're going to recognize is the sooner that you get your 8 hours of sleep, you drink the amount of water that you need to drink, or get the amount of sleep that you need for your age, eat the amount of food that you need to properly be happy and satisfied hunger-wise, and then make sure that you're drinking, and I think I said enough water, right? Like, making sure that you check off every single basic need before you go and do anything else with your life. And then you're going to recognize how much power you actually have. And most of it was things that you did not even need to worry about. Because we can only do so much, right? And I'm not trying to limit people, because you can. I heard this story recently. Someone told me that there was a hitchhiker bot that came to Pennsylvania, and people were really upset because as soon as it came to Pennsylvania, it got trashed. And there were people who felt very passionately about the fact that were like, no, we're not, like, this is not how Pennsylvania is going to get represented. Like, so they created a Kickstarter. Like, this one person created a Kickstarter and got enough money to support a rebuilding of that. It didn't end up happening. But what I'm trying to say is that you need to take care of you first before you can sit there and try to make a difference in the world if you want to. Right now, it just seems like you're giving this, you just want to give your power away so that way you don't have to do anything else. And here's the thing, you're probably paralyzed, not because you want to, but because you feel like there's no other option. You feel powerless. And there's nothing wrong with that, pile 2, but if you want to know how you can make manifestations come in, you need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure that you can properly take care of, get yourself to a baseline, and then you can keep building. And it seems like you're either going back into old habits from when you were a child. Maybe there's just something that you were taught when you were growing up. Or maybe there's people from your childhood who just haven't, they're all just sitting on the same level of powerlessness. And that's what's blocking you, is because you're constantly being exposed to other people who are like, well, we're also powerless, so we're just going to accept the things that they are and just call it a day. Which, again, that's fine, that's valid, but if you want to grow and you want to be able to see your manifestations, this would be a way to change that narrative. A Knight of Swords. So be careful. Yeah, this is the doom scrolling. This is constant communication over, people who consistently experience or keep reading bad things, bad negativity, all those things, and keep coming back to it. It's almost like you're a little bit addicted. And here's the thing, that's what doom scrolling is, right? So those are the things that are blocking in your manifestation, because you just, A, you feel super powerless, and B, you're just you're welcoming that relinquish of power rather than taking it back. Now, here's what I have to tell you. You can make a difference in this world, pile 2, but you need to take care of yourself first. You need to make sure that your needs, the things that you need as a basic human being, and then some, first. And then I can tell you that if you're truly wanting to be a peacemaker, if there is a will, there is a way. The fact that so many people backed up out of sheer passion alone of wanting to help people, I see these things every day where it's there's people who raise money for people who are homeless. There are people who give backpacks full of supplies to other homeless people, and they're not the ones using money out of their pocket. They say, this is my cause, this is what I want to do, and people support it. But to regain that passion, to regain that power, you have to take care of yourself. You not taking care of yourself is creating a lot of blockages that probably don't really need to be there, and are probably a lot simpler to conquer. And here's the thing, mental health is no joke. Please go seek professional help. But what I can tell you as well is that your life becomes a lot more manageable when you're not starving, when you're not sleep deprived, when you are genuinely enjoying your life. Exercise is also another thing too. I've heard so many people bitch about exercising, and they're like, oh, is a walk gonna sit there and make me change my mind? It's gonna get you out of your mind. Because the problem is that I can see with the swords here, swords are the sweet of the mind. This is something that, honestly, you don't even have to go for a walk. You don't got to go outside. If you have a pair of headphones and a door that closes, you can jam out and do little dances. Don't have to worry about anybody judging you. And get your obviously, if you have, heart conditions, do what your doctor tells you for safe cardio. But for everybody else, just getting into your body is going to be a really great way for you to just start getting your energy back, period, as well, too. You give away probably a lot more of your energy, but you give away energy that you barely had to begin with because of your needs not being met. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So that was the tarot portion of your reading. All right, so next we're going to pull, please Spirit, a story for pile 2, please. A story for pile 2. Thank you for only giving me one this time. Ooh, King of Cups. Love that. Cool. Oh, this is a good one. All right. Oh, also to clarify, I've shuffled, like full shuffle bridged most of these cards already. So, Spirit, can you get a Clow card for pile 2, please? Spirit, can you please get a Clow card? Okay, that's too many. There we go. That's the one. That's the one. The twin again. Okay. I'm going to take this one. Sorry, I said twin again because pile 1 got the twin. Interesting. All right, I'm taking this one too. I don't know. I got called to pull the top of the deck. Ooh. All right. We have the Keepers of the Light Oracle. Please, can we get some guidance for pile 2, please? Thank you. Interesting. Ooh. Are you a twin pile 2? Okay, and then we have this one. We get a creator message for pile 2 for the manifestation, please. Okay. We're gonna go with that one. Which is interesting because we got Sacred Mirror. Alright. I see a recurring theme here. Pile 2. Alright. So the last... excuse me. Are going to be my custom channel messages. So please could we get some channel messages for pile 2, please? Okay. Thank you. Balance your... Ooh, okay. I love this. You are a magnet. Stop chasing. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry. I'm so excited. And then just, I did this for pile 1, so we're just going to grab... Okay, sorry. I grabbed the message that I think the book was pre-folded because I flipped straight to pile 1's message. Again, a lot of synchronicities with pile 1, so if you are drawn, go for it. But thoughts are mightier than the strength of hand. So it's a divine channel message. So we're going to go through these messages first. I'm going to channel a bit of a message, and then we're going to read this story that's associated with this card. Okay. We can tell that you're a very strong creator. And it's interesting because you are the walking epitome of your internal world paints your external. The twin, the sacred vision, the sacred mirror. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all, and remember that love has no boundaries. I want to say the pen is mightier than the sword. But sometimes the pen can create very scary narratives. That make you feel like you are nothing but a side character in everybody else's story. And the more you paint yourself, and the more you look around you, the sooner you are going to realize that that is false. You are meant to create. You are meant to get control, to wield your power, harness your power. Forgive yourself. Because what you have to come is so much better than what you have had before. So, with these cards here particularly, I can see we have the twin, we have the sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries, and sacred mirrors. So, I think the biggest thing that will help you, pile 2, is recognizing that while there is a lot of negative in the world, you have to get very aggressive about choosing to see love, choosing to see light, choosing to see, and then watch how your thoughts create when you choose positivity. Because the thing is that what you need to do for yourself right now to help you gain more power within your manifestations is to recognize how powerful you are. And I know that sounds super repetitive, but it's the point of power is very strong. And the more you see how powerful your statements are, the easier it's going to be for you to gain that confidence and gain that power. What you have to recognize is that you have to be so aggressive about protecting the way that you view things, though. Because if you recognize, like, here's for a small example, right? Is you're going grocery shopping or you're going someplace where you need to park and you go, I'm going to just try this. But here's the thing, try it and earnestly believe it. If you do not earnestly believe it and you are going to dismiss it, it's not going to work. That is the whole point of a limiting belief. And that is the one that is really weighing on my heart right now for you, pile 2, because the one thing you can do is literally when you pull into the parking lot, you just go, I'm going to find a parking spot close and easy. I'm going to find a close parking spot easily. There you go. And then you have to say it with conviction and then watch how that happens. Continue and then make small things. Small things. Today I went out and it started downpouring when I came back home, and I just specifically was just like, you know what? It's going to clear up so that way I can go outside later. And it did. And yes, you can sit there and debunk all you want. But the power of thought, and it's interesting because you can literally see it right now with the way that you've been focusing on being powerless. The second you shift your narrative, the second you change the way that you view and look at your life, you're going to recognize how much power you have. Because the sword here tells me that there's a part of you that really does want to take action. And you can, and it's going to create this beautiful, 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 beautiful new narrative, new story, because you're going to start seeing how the life is going to mirror your statements. And the next step for you, pile 2, you have to balance your energy by taking care of yourself, by checking off all your needs. And I'm not trying to advertise, but I am working on a needs tracker. It's called a mood monitor. So that way you can Like, I made sure I did all these, I drank my water, I got these many hours of sleep, I got this food, this is how it's affecting my mood, this is what I learned, this is what I'm going to take on to tomorrow. Like, those are the things that we're covering on those templates. But anyways, but you tracking that just as is and balancing your energy, you're going to recognize that you are truly a magnet for the things that you want. And this is the law of attraction. This is one of the laws of attraction. But what people have a tendency to forget is there's 12 laws. One of them is the law of vibration. You have to be in the vibration of what you want to attract. So if you are in a bad vibration, you're going to end up attracting bad. And you see that because of the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you can consistently create this narrative that you are not very powerful. You need to recognize that you are a magnet, and then you're going to see how things mirror out. You can play that game all you want to yourself about the negative part of it, but why don't you try to have fun with it and play? And stop chasing the bad. More than anything, pile 2. That's going to be your biggest superpower for yourself. The second you start chasing light and you start giving yourself a break, the better your life is going to be. And you're going to start seeing that little bit more and more and more and more. Oh, King of Cups. The Boy and the Dragon Pearl. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright. The Boy and the Dragon Pearl. I think I totally missed the index. Boy and the Dragon Pearl, Boy and the Dragon Pearl, Boy and the Dragon Pearl. 75. Alright. Boy and the Dragon Pearl. I'm going to try to put this up as close as possible. Hopefully you can read the text. You can pause the screen here, or you can screenshot. Anywho, I am going to read it for you, but I'm going to scooch over by my mic. So, dragons in China are very powerful. They are symbols of strength, mystery, and good fortune. They can make themselves as small as silkworms or as large as the universe. They can live in heaven or deep in the ocean, control typhoons, tidal waves, floods, and rain. They can travel far distances, and some have even been known to favor men in mountain retreats. They are often known to carry a pearl that contains much of their magical power. Dragons are so magnificent. There is even an expression in Chinese that means to hope one's son will become a dragon. There was once a little boy who lived in a small village that was starving from years of drought. Nothing would grow. Even the wild animals were suffering. When the boy saw a fat rabbit, he followed it to its home. There he found a small patch of greenery that was flourishing, which, when he dug it up, was growing around a giant pearl. Thinking he could sell the pearl for food, the little boy and his mother put it in a rice jar that night and slept peacefully. In the morning, they found the once empty rice jar overflowing. The same miracle repeated itself again with the rice jar, an oil jar, and then with a box of money. The boy and his mother realized that the pearl was magic, and were able to stop worrying about food. But their newfound luck was noticed by greedy men who smashed the boy's house in order to find whatever they had. The little boy grew terrified, and in his fear swallowed the whole pearl. He began to feel unbelievably thirsty. He drank a whole jug of water, then the whole well. He then plunged himself into the river. He emerged as a giant dragon, swishing his tail back and forth, frightening the men away. The boy turned dragon looked at his mother, and she at him, and they knew he could never be changed back. So instead, he became the protector of the river, and his mother visited him often. Ooh, all right. Pile 2, that was your story. Here's the thing. I really see you as that boy in the story, right? Where you're finally finding your power. And there might be people who come in and try to take it from you again. That's going to be a huge lesson for you to really truly embody the power that you have and to defend what you believe in, to defend what you care about, right? Like those are the things that's the power that once you start taking care of your needs, right? And making sure you have more than enough, you're going to recognize how strong you are. And not just strong, powerful. And then you're going to start seeing those things reflecting back to you. And that's amazing. And I'm really excited for you, Pile 2. But just recognize it starts with you. The Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror. I'm going to make that change for once in my life. I'm going to feel real good. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to make it right. What's the rest of the lyrics? I'm starting with a man in the mirror. I'm asking him to make that change. One question would have been very clear, but if you want to make the world a better place, you have to look at yourself and make that change. I might have butchered some of the lyrics, but you get the point. All right, Pile 2. Well, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it resonated. And I hope this helps you on your journey to manifestation. I hope that you reclaim your power. Please like the video, comment, share. Any type of interaction really helps this video gain any type of traction, so that way we can better help people in the manifestation community to get to their goals even faster, because we're tackling the things that are holding us back, like obstacles and limiting beliefs. So please interact with my social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the guiding arrow. I've made it consistent across the board. I will be releasing that template I talked about probably within the next few weeks, so please go ahead and follow my socials to look out for it. I want to make things as affordable as possible, but I also want to make sure that I can eat. So if you're interested in booking a reading with me, feel free to check out the link in any of my bios. That will take you to my Etsy store where I'm selling readings right now. I am doing them virtually. And yeah, I think that's everything. So again, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, follow, comment. And go ahead and click the bell notification icon so that way you know the next time I upload a reading. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a lovely day or night whenever you're watching this. Okay, Pile 2, I love you so much. You've got this. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the I Trust My Inner Wisdom card, then this reading is for you. So every single pile has a power statement on the back of their card, so I'm going to go ahead and read that for you. You can go ahead and screenshot it right there. As I go about my daily affairs, I listen to my own guidance. My intuition is always on my side. I trust it to be there at all times. I am safe. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put your card right over here so you'll be able to see it. The breakdown of the reading is at the beginning of the video, but just so you guys know, this is what's blocking your manifestation check-in. So we are going to, with the tarot, take a look at what limiting beliefs are holding you back from your manifestation and what obstacles are in your way. And then that is going to follow up with a lot of guidance. Some piles have been short channeled messages, others was almost a completely channeled message, but we're going to be using a combination of different oracle decks for the channel, or just guidance in general, and then I'm picking a tarot card from the Tarot of the Divine and reading you the story for that card through the book here, and see if there's any guidance there as well for you. Okay, so to begin, we are going to go ahead and take a look at and just so you know, I've pre-shuffled all cards and decks, so if you just see me pulling cards, I have pre-shuffled each pile, so I can go ahead and just pull cards. All right, so what limiting beliefs are holding back pile 3? What limiting beliefs are holding back? What limiting beliefs are holding back pile 3? Do we have any more? Yeah, you wanted to come out. All right. Do we have any more? Yes, we do. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Ooh, okay. All right. And then, what perceived obstacles are in pile 3's way? What perceived obstacles are in pile 3's way? What perceived obstacles are in pile 3's way? Yikes. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to say yikes. I mean, I definitely did. This card's an obstacle, all right. Okay. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and put that over here. Alrighty, let's take a look at your cards. Oh no, pile 3. What the hell? Sorry. Okay. Let's get into your reading. So, what limiting beliefs are holding your manifestations back? All right. So, for that question, we have the 3 of Wands, we have the 2 of Pentacles, we have the eight of Pentacles in reverse. Bear with me. The Roman numerals are the ones that throw me off. We have Justice in reverse, and we have the Moon card in reverse. And then for what obstacles are in your way, we have the Sun card and the 3 of Swords. All right. Sorry for my visceral sounding water drinking. I'm not actually visceral when I drink. Whatever. Anywho, so the 3 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, you have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, you have Justice, and you have the Moon card. So automatically I'm seeing that you, first and foremost, your limiting beliefs don't come from you. They come from all around you. So there is a call for you to learn how to balance wisdom versus limiting beliefs from other people. I can see a lot of attempts to manifesting. And I can also see a lot of times where you felt like you feel like you're not doing enough, and you feeling like you're not doing enough is creating this like idea in your head that you keep getting screwed over. And with the Moon card here in reverse too, I feel like this is like just a side note where it's like the things that you pushed aside, whether it be subconsciously, unconsciously, you sweeping certain things under the rug has been, and I mean like this being like things that you haven't properly processed emotionally. Like, let's say for example, and please understand I'm saying this because I completely recognize that sometimes things, when we don't process them, hold us back. So I lost my grandfather about 16 years ago, and due to the situation where I was and who I was with, I was not allowed to grieve fully. And so I consistently pushed that back. And I never really, I never opened the lid of Pandora's box, because once that's locked up, we don't open it. We don't talk about Bruno. Right? And I didn't recognize, I was almost 30, and I didn't recognize that I was holding on to that grief still in different ways, like through anger, through frustration, through not knowing how to grieve people properly, which gave me an opportunity to learn how to grieve old versions of myself through finally processing a grief that I never got a chance to. So, and I think that like that's a big thing for you to learn how to trust yourself, is by grieving the version of yourself that listened to everybody else but yourself. And here's the thing. There are a lot of people out there who have a lot of great wisdom. And I'm going to pass this on to you. I do not remember who said it. I think it was Brene Brown. But this is how she was able to reclaim the power of who to listen to and who to not. She calls it the arena, right? Or you can call it a stage, however you want to think about it. Your most important people should be on stage with you. Like, the people you listen to should be in the arena with you. They should be people who have experienced the things that you're trying to experience or near that. And then you can reserve special seats for people you care about in the front rows. Like, that's fine, but they're not in the arena, so you don't have to necessarily take every single one of their advices. They are there because they care about you, they are supporting you, but that does not necessarily mean that you have to listen to them, because you consistently listening to everybody else is creating these different narratives, and you're sitting there and you're weighing other people's thoughts and opinions of your life and your life choices above everybody else. And that is completely discrediting all the work that you have done, because you've been working very hard in balancing and learning how to trust yourself more and more and more and more, along with you manifesting. Because the thing is that the other thing I'm seeing here too is whether you're very indecisive of whether or not you're manifesting the right things for you. And what I can tell you through that, and it's interesting because it's one of your obstacles, but it's like, if it brings you joy, that's what's aligned with you. If it doesn't bring you joy, it's not aligned with you. And it's like, your obstacle here, pile 3, is you being so hung up on not knowing what happiness means to you. And the only person who can answer that is you. It's not anybody else here. So if there's one thing that's been limiting your manifestations more than anything, is you constantly taking other people's opinions or shoulda, coulda, wouldas and incorporating them into your story, rather than you listening to what path you want to take, listening to what you want to do, doing the things you want to do. And it's like, honestly, this moon card being here in reverse with your limiting beliefs, I think that the number one thing that you have pushed off or pushed aside are the things that you want. Those are the things that you're burying. So yeah, of course you're going to constantly feel like you're screwing yourself over because you're not doing things that you want to do. And the fact here that we have the Sun and the 3 of Swords here is your obstacles. Like, you're constantly breaking your own damn heart because you're consistently doing things out of obligation rather than the things that you want to do because you love them. But you also have no idea what you love because you've never sat down and literally asked yourself. And pile 3, this is what's going to be a key in trusting yourself more and more and more and more, is when you sit down and you really sincerely look and you go, what makes me happy? What brings me joy? Because I can tell you right now, pile 3, I feel like I say this with every pile. I've been in your shoes. Because like the thing is like, I struggled for a long time going, I don't know what makes me happy if it doesn't have to do with anybody else or being in service of others. And that is a terrifying thing to admit to yourself, but as soon as you start admitting that, you can start looking at the activities that you do, and you start kind of observing. You're like, yes, there's going to be maybe some things that we have to do. Like, some people don't want to have to commute to work. Doesn't necessarily make them happy, but what you can do is turn on some sick tunes and jam out and enjoy the time while you have to do it. You can turn things to the vibration of joy through just making it fun. But I don't want you, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to sit here and enforce my will, but I am going to tell you, as someone who has honestly understands this energy very much, you need to learn yourself better so you can understand what makes you happy, and it cannot come from others. It needs to have a center of yourself. You need to figure, do you really love music? Do you like making music? Do you like listening to music? Does certain particular music make you happy? Start with the small stuff. Learn yourself. You need to learn yourself. You need to learn how to trust your inner wisdom, and that starts with you getting to know yourself. And that's something that we can tell that you are running away from. How long are you going to go living a life that is meant for everybody else but yourself? We already live in a culture, we already live in a society and generation that demonize us for who we are as people, telling us that we're not enough. You have enough of that already surrounding you in all those places. Stop doing it to yourself as well by listening to everybody else. Because it's not fair. Your light, your happiness, your joy will bring such a difference to your life. And also start welcoming in a lot more things, more and more and more and more. And this unrest, this obstacle will those swords will fly out automatically, and that heart's going to be healed. Because you're finally recognizing that life is not just you accepting everybody else's narrative of your life or what they didn't do with theirs. You have control over yours. So, yeah. All right. Whew. I'd like to also say that your limiting belief your manifestations want to come in as soon as you figure out what makes you happy. That's going to really just like, that's going to be the fire starter, or the stuff that makes the flame go higher. The oil stuff, whatever. You're making this out. You're making manifestations out to be a lot harder than they actually are. You don't have to work that hard. Life can be easy. Life can be easy. The thing is, I say ease because, and it's that one saying that everybody rolls their eyes with, but it's true. When you sit down and do things that are aligned with you, time flies. When you are doing things out of joy, out of happiness, life becomes so much sweeter. Life becomes so much easier. And things become a lot clearer. And this heartbreak and this unrest and this uneasiness, it's like, the feeling I'm getting is like someone who's been living their life wearing a size extra small when they're a medium. And they're just constant, because everybody keeps telling them, no, you're size extra, you're XS, extra small. Even though you're kind of like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm a size medium. And then they're like, fine, here's a small. And you're just constantly sitting here living this life with a shirt that's just not your size. And it's constricting because you're listening to everybody else. And you're like, well, at least I'm clothed. At least bits are being covered. Like, that's fine. But it's not. Because you deep down, I trust my inner wisdom, you deep down know what your size is. And this has nothing to do with actual, like, clothing or anything. This is just an example. But it literally feels very constricting, your energy. Like, you feel very, very constricted. And I think it's time to shed that skin of everybody else and the way that they view your life, the way that they see all these things, the way that they're perceiving the way that you should be living your life. that ain't it. What is it? An obstacle that you need to overcome is you sitting down and really talking to yourself and going, you know what? This is making me happy. This isn't making me happy. And this is something I've learned because I've gone to therapy, and the way I like to talk about it is that I have this giant tangled ball of yarn, different colors, crazy. It's just like this huge giant knot. And in therapy, we take out those strings, we detangle this ball, and it takes a little bit of time, and that's fine. But then you realize you're sitting there going, where's my yarn, right? Where's my color? Let's say like the blues are your family and your pinks are your friends and the purples are, family beliefs and limiting beliefs from them, right? And you start sorting those out, and your color might be green or something, and you don't see a tinge of green anywhere. And then you start getting closer and closer and closer. The more you detangle this knot and the more you remove other people's narratives, the sooner you're going to find in the middle, usually closest to your heart, the little ball of green thread that wanted to come out. And the more that you start pulling out all those extra threads and all those other narratives in your life, the more you're going to find more green thread that lines up with your color scheme, right? And you'll start balling that ball up and creating a bigger ball, and it's going to be a sizable amount closer to where that tangled mess was. But then you look around and you see and you notice like, oh, all of these things that I thought weren't actually my thoughts to begin with. And I'm not sitting there saying, no, you shouldn't take accountability. What you should do is, in the way of taking accountability, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for all this crap that you've been putting yourself through, and mental unrest, and listening to everybody else, and muting your own voice and your desires and the things that you want in life. And move forward. Yeah, you can't change the past, but you sure as hell can change the future. You really can. You have that control, you have that power, but it has to start with you and your happiness and the things that make you happy. Because that's really what's going to bring you to life. So, all right, so that concludes the tarot portion of your reading. Let's put that there. All right, pile 3. So we're going to go ahead and get your, can we please have the story for pile 3? Ooh. All right, for some reason this one really wants to come out too. All right, I'm only taking one. I'm going to take this one. But it's interesting that there's birds. Has a lot to do with freedom. All right. So I'm going to pull these cards. I also love how I literally just said I shuffled all of these and whatever. All right. So could we please have a Clow card for pile 3, please? Could we please have a Clow card for pile 3? Thank you. Okay, we have the Cloud. We have the Change. Oh, this is the King of Wands, is the 8 of Wands. Okay, Keepers of the Light. Okay, I did it again. Sorry, pile 3. You're going to get a little bit of shuffling. All right, so who can we get a message for pile 3, please? Can we get another message for pile 3, please? That's too much. That's fine. I think you guys need it. Not in a, like a weird way, just like in a... Never mind. Alright, so, could we get a creative oracle, please, for pile 3? Can we get a creative oracle, please, for pile 3? Oh, okay. 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 That one just came up upside down, which we love to see. All right, so I was doing this for all the other piles, so I want to make sure I give it to you guys as well. I pulled just a page and some channeled messages here. Can we please get some channeled messages? Pile 3. You guys got a lot of oracle cards. Don't tell the other piles. Shh. Not that. I mean, they might. They might find out if they click another reading. Okay. I just want to make sure that we have space for all of these. Sorry. The card said it, not me. Cool. All right. Ooh, okay. This is powerful. All right, I'm going to grab your Bibliomancy real quick. Can we please have a message for pile 3? Okay. It is just as easy to see yourself successful as it is to see yourself a failure, and far more interesting. That's your message. It's easy to see yourself successful. Why is this being like this? Come on. All right. Well, it's easy to see yourself successful as it is to see yourself a failure, and far more interesting. All right. All right, let's go through these cards. So you got miracles happen when you believe. You know what you need to do. Time to start therapy. We have overthinking can spoil the magic. We have shift the way to new potential. We've got the cloud and we have the change. We have Horus. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. We have Saint Germain with karmic releasing. Move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. You have sacred self. Unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. With the Shekinah. Sorry if I mispronounced that wrong. And then we have Green Tara, supreme protection. You're protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation. Trust. Okay. Some of these people gotta go, pile 3. There are some people in your life that is creating a lot of drama. And honestly, if people are not supporting your dreams and people are not, because it's like we can tell that you're being muted. But just trust that people who are meant to be in your life and are aligned with you are not going to sit there and try to mute you or cover you with their thumb. A lot of change is happening. A lot of change is occurring, but you have to have the courage to remove those clouds from your sun. You can shift. You can shift anything that you want. You can move any direction that you want. Thinking too much is what's going to prevent you, though, from making the right moves. But what you have to recognize is that your thoughts are magnetic and very powerful. In the moment that you start trusting yourself, in the moment when you start believing and all the things can go in the direction of which you want them to go in, they will go. But it starts with you. It starts with you trusting your voice and you figuring out what your voice sounds like. Because at this point, you've gotten so used to being mute. Your voice is beautiful. Your life is beautiful. You have every opportunity. And if anybody tries to tell you otherwise, that is not someone we want you to change for. Your authentic self is needed. in this world. Your voice is needed in this world. Your actions, the things that you do, even to the smallest cutting the crusts off your sandwich, it's needed. Because every little thing you do is a thread that spins and creates, entangles with others. But there are certain strings there that are constantly knotting you over and over and over again. And they are creating these fears, these thoughts, these ugly narratives that have nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. We roll our eyes. It's impossible for us to understand why they are knotting you up so much, but you are giving them the permission to do so every time you listen to them. So it's time. Because we can sit there and say that, yes, you can untie your knot every single time. You can untie it. But at some point, the thread will get very weak and break. We don't want to see that happening to you. You have the power. Your authentic self, the person who you want to be, is possible. But it's not possible if you constantly keep building a self that has checked off the boxes and the needs for everybody else. That is not your path. That is not anybody's path. But yet there are some people out there who will consistently build you down so that way they can have a strong foundation to make themselves taller, rather than being their own strength, being their own precipice of knowledge. And that is something that we no longer see for you and see fit. If you do not remove them, we will remove them for you. But that is not for you to become complacent. That is for you to understand that the more you stand in your authentic truth, the more those people will move out of your way. Because they recognize that this is your story and they have their own. So it's time. The more you move into your more authentic self, the more these people who have a misconstrued idea of how they have power over you will slowly recognize on their own accord that their narrative is no longer your story. Okay, so we have the King of Wands. Let me see what, I think it's just Phoenix, which would be really cool. The Phoenix. Let me go grab that for you. We can also look at, let me actually look at the Eight of Wands real quick too. A lot of fire energy, a lot for ya. Rainbow Crow. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the Rainbow Crow real quick. And then you guys can screenshot it and read it on your own time. But I'm only reading one. It's probably Rainbow Crow 125 and the Phoenix 61. 125. 125. Burr, 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 burr. Okay. So this is the story of the Rainbow Crow. If you can see it, you can read it, I think. Hopefully. I really need a new camera. But yeah, there you go. I'm going to hold it still. You guys can screenshot it and read it on your own time. And then 61 is the one I'm going to read for you. Or you can also buy this book. I'm just saying, I love fairy tales, and it's actually really cool because it's not like Now, obviously, each fairy tale has, or folklore has their own page. So, I didn't think about. But yeah, it's called Beneath the Moon by Yoshitani. I really, really loved this deck, so I, of course, had to buy the book. All right, so the Phoenix. The Phoenix is a magical firebird associated with the ideas of strength, power, destruction, and rebirth. The story of the Phoenix exists across many different cultures with many different names, but it is always a bird of fire and good fortune. One of the most well-known stories of the Phoenix comes from Greece. There, the bird is nearly invisible. Oh my goodness. Flying between the earth and heaven, the mortal and the divine. Every 1,000 of years it begins to age and die. That is when it builds a nest made of myrrh and cinnamon and immolates itself. From the ashes an egg is formed and hatches a newly reborn phoenix. There are many Slavic stories of the firebird and its beautiful glowing plumage, and its long tail feathers that are coveted by many kings and heroes, including Ivan Tsarevich and the evil sorcerer Kasachai the Immortal. The feathers glow with power even after they are dropped by the bird and can bring great fortune as well as great destruction to whomever possesses them. As the bird flies across the world, pearls drop from its beak for the poor and less fortunate. In Japan, the phoenix is called ho'o. It is a sunbird that descends from its home in the heavens to bless the birth of virtuous rulers and mark the beginning of a new era. It flies through the skies, a symbol of goodwill from the heavens. It can also be found perching on top of torii, the gateways to the sacred religious Shinto shrines, or the passageways between the mortal and the divine worlds. This mythical bird heralds the time of peace and balance. It is a disappearance to the back to heaven, harkens a time of disharmony and destruction. Zhuhe, the vermilion bird, is the name of the phoenix in China. It is one of the 4 constellations making up the 4 cardinal directions. It is the fire bird of the south and is associated with the summer season. Perfect. Okay. So pile 2. Honestly, we have change, rebirth, we have change, and then we have more change. So a lot of things are going to be changing toward your manifestation. The second that you start creating for your own sake is when things are just going to start folding and looking amazing. And I'm excited for you, pile 3. Like, holy moly. This is a much needed cleansing and reset. Like, you've spent your time being the person for other people, and you having this rebirth opportunity for you to live for yourself is a really beautiful thing to see, and it's a huge privilege for me as a reader to watch this unfold for you, and I'm very excited. And I hope more than anything that you truly, truly, truly take this reading to heart and live for yourself. I understand we all have things that we have to do in our lives, right? And there's obligations that we have. But the more you set aside time, even if it's 5 minutes a day, just doing a little something for yourself that brings you joy. Just 5 minutes. If you got to take it away from your screen time from your phone, trust me, the more you take yourself away from that damn phone, the better connected you'll feel to yourself. And the more, like, it can be a fun game where you just sit there and go, what do I want to do? You know, if you don't have any type of obligation, you know, asking yourself on a day off with nothing to do and just sitting there and going, okay, what can I do that makes me happy? You know, maybe a whole day might be a lot for you to start, but maybe an hour, maybe 10, 15 minutes, you know, if you're a parent, I understand, like, if it's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes, I get it. But don't make an excuse and say there's no time, or there's no this, there's no that. Trust me, I'm going to tell you something, pile 3, and I know that you guys are like, oh my goodness. But last year, I took myself to the beach for my birthday. I didn't have a lot of money to go. I had enough gas. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, like have a good time. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to go anyways, and I'm going to make it a good time. My phone was dying on my way there. I don't live right next to the ocean. It's a bit of a drive for me to go. But my phone was dying, and I didn't have a charger for my phone. So I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get home? I go into a Family Dollar or Dollar General or whatever on the way to the beach. And I go in and I'm like, well, I think I only had like $25 or something like that. And I wanted to get food and stuff like that out or whatever. And I was like, oh man, like I don't know if I'm going to be able to like afford food along with this. Was this a mistake? And I was like getting a little apprehensive of whether or not I should go. And I was like, no, we're going to keep going. I go to the cash register, and I didn't know this at the time. I do now, obviously. But my specific bank had a rewards program, but it only worked for a specific type of companies. And when I went to the register to go buy the charger hub that I needed for my phone, I had a reward for, I think it was like $10 or $15, which made the charger practically free. Like, I think I only paid like $1.50 for tax or something. And then I was able to, and the rest of the day was just a magical day that I just had an amazing time. I got to go into the ocean. It was just something that made me and brought me so much joy and so much happiness. And sometimes you just have to trust that doing things that make you happy and going in that direction and making yourself really, really, really happy is what's going to bring you to the right direction and re-spark the things in your life that make you really happy and show you the reason why you're doing the things that you do sometimes, So I leave that with you, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I know it's a lot, and I know it definitely kind of sounded like a lecture at the beginning. But if you enjoyed this reading, please like this video, comment, share it. Click the bell notification icon to be notified for any of my other readings when I upload. And honestly, just thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the privilege of letting me read for you. I really, really hope that you live for yourself at least a little bit at a time, more and more, Pile 3, because I know I know what it's like, and I just want to give you a huge hug. So, yes, small windows of time if that's what you have for right now, and just recognize more and more and more and more. The more you shine your light, the more you become a beacon to others. So please, please enjoy life a little bit more and recognize that things that you want to do is more than enough. Okay? So I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you see this reading, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. If you chose The Past is Over, this card, then this reading is for you. Every card has a power statement in the back of it, so this is yours. All right. This is a new day, one that I have never lived before. I'll stay in the now and enjoy each and every moment. So we're going to put your power statement right here so that we can see it while we perform the rest of the reading. So just so you know, as a reminder, there is a breakdown of the reading in the beginning of the video, but just a real quick reminder, we are going to be using the tarot for what limiting beliefs are holding you back and what perceived obstacles are in your way. And then we're going to go ahead and do an oracle. Some have channel messages, some have not, depending on the piles. Most of them got a channel message, just the length versus what comes through. And then we use the Tarot of the Divine. I pick one card, and then we grab the story from Beneath the Moon book to whatever card came out. So that will be the structure of the reading. Yeah, so Also, shout out to pile 3. I had a flying nail. So we usually call cards flying leapers, but we got a nail leaper this time. So I'm sorry if my hands look off. It will be put back on afterwards. But anywho, pile 4. One of the things about your limiting belief that I'm already automatically picking up on is difficulty being present in the moment. Whether this is depression about the past or anxiety about the future, I'm seeing and feeling a lot of struggle in just like being present in your everyday, which is a big thing about being in manifesting, right? Because our most powerful self for manifesting is right now. It's not afraid of what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or in the next 10 minutes. It's about being happy and being present and being joyful now and using that to amplify your desires. Anywho, okay, so what is pile 4's limiting belief? What are pile 4's limiting beliefs holding them back? Goodness, interesting. And may I please have one more? Thank you. Ooh, interesting. Oh, okay. All right, that's a lot. All right, so we had Ten of Cups in reverse come out, then Two of Swords come out, then Page of Wands, Page of Swords. Okay. I have a feeling these are probably your obstacles, so I'm going to take these. All right. Yeah. All right, so for what are your limiting beliefs that popped out was the Ten of Cups in reverse. We have the Two of Swords in reverse, the Page of Swords upright, the Hermit in reverse, and the Moon upright. And then obstacles, perceived obstacles that are blocking you from your manifestation is the Magician in reverse, the Emperor upright, the Tower upright, and then the Seven of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Okay. So limiting beliefs have a lot to do for you specifically with not knowing what fulfills you emotionally. And it's like you can't really get a grip on what that means for you. You also have a lot of limiting beliefs that are not just yours. There's a huge call for you to get clear. I'm feeling particularly a person who probably watches something really happy and gets like a bad taste in their mouth, or like if I were to present you with the Ten of Cups in your future and said, you know what, you're going to find emotional fulfillment, you're going to be super happy, you're going to have all these wonderful things, you would scoff. Like, that's the energy of the limiting beliefs that I'm getting from you. But the problem is that how can you sit there and scoff about the perception of happiness when you haven't even decided what that is for yourself? And with the Page of Swords here, your eagerness or rather impatience of your mind, constantly trying to figure things out, is what's also holding you back. And we have the Moon upright. which is telling me that you have looked in the mirror recently and have not necessarily exactly liked what you have seen. And this does not necessarily need to be literal, but this can also be a bit literal as well. Your limiting beliefs of the things you really, 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 truly want are some things that you're shaming about yourself. And you're having a hard time finding the courage to really, truly own the things that you want. And it's like in the past, it's like you've been fine. Your manifesting has not been intentional. Not in the least bit. Things that you've wanted haven't really truly been the things that you've wanted before. Like, those have all changed and you really can't get a grip on it, which is what we've been seeing. And that's the reason why it's like every time you look at the things or look at yourself and go, is this really something that I want? Is this really something I want to work at? And you constantly keep questioning yourself, you constantly not being able to decide, that is your limiting belief, is you being so indecisive about exactly what you want, but also shaming the things deep down that you know you do want because you're listening to everybody else. And you keep doing that. But this cycle coming, it's different this time. What you've got away with before, you're not going to get away with again. And I'm not trying to sit there and say that dauntingly, but it's more so a lesson that you need to learn on making a decision. You really need to get clear on the things that you want in your life. Because without that clarity, without that direction, without that decision and acceptance, you're not going to repeat a cycle. It's going to be a whole brand new lesson that's going to smack you in the face, probably a lot harder than the things that you've been able to get away with before. Now, things that are perceived obstacles is a fear of change. A fear of change, a need for control. And you not recognizing your resources or recognizing the things that have worked out in your life. Along with you're constantly allowing yourself to be deceived because you keep listening to everybody else instead of your own voice. And it's like this is like cycling back, where it's like, let's say for example, it's like you really want to be with somebody, but all your friends tell you, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, that's a bad idea. That's all this stuff. And like the reasons they're giving you, it's like, you're kind of like, that's not really a reason to not be with somebody. And then you turn around and you're like trying to not want to be with that person, and you consistently shame yourself for wanting and desiring that you, any type of affection, any type of anything, you just consistently shut it down. And so you block yourself and you shame yourself and you guilt yourself instead of accepting the fact that, like, yes, I do have these feelings. I do want this. Who do I listen to? Do I listen to myself and take action, or do I listen to everybody else and miss out on an opportunity of being really happy? Because me wanting to be with that person would make me really happy. So I think you have to recognize how powerful you are. And I don't just mean that generically. I just mean that, like, the fact that the Magician is here in reverse as an obstacle is telling me that, like, you sincerely don't recognize that you have all the tools at your disposal to have the life that you want, but you just are holding on to too much control of how it's going to happen, and you're too afraid of things that'll change. Almost like you're afraid of giving your power away, but you don't have it to begin with because you keep giving it to everybody else and you keep guilting yourself. It's very interesting to see how this cycle has probably repeated in several areas of your life. Like consistently over and over and over and over again. And it's like you recognize that things have to change, but you're so, like, you're clinging on to old foundations that no longer serve you anymore. Like, the things that the tower clears away are things that weren't solid to begin with. That's the reason why they crumble. And there's nothing, and that has nothing to do with you, and there's nothing for you to be ashamed of about that. But if you really, truly, and genuinely want to see things go in your favor, you have to start having the courage to be decisive and allow things to happen. Instead of shutting things down through guilt. Yeah, shame and guilt. Shilt. New word. #shilt. I'm never doing that again. I say that. Someone call me out for that if I ever do it again. Anywho, yeah. Pile 4. If I'm going to be honest with you, before we even get into the oracle, I have some homework for you. Make a list of things that you really, 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 really want deep down. Regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of how you want of it. And then do yourself a favor. Do a working order. And give yourself allowance to take one. I don't even care what it is. Take one thing you want to manifest, one thing you want, and break it down into steps, and decide on that list that you are going to take some type of action without any fear, shame, or guilt, or need to control the outcome of how that... I don't know why I'm like... My throat... You need to speak your truth. My throat is like itching like crazy. And I'm fine. Like, I've recorded all these piles tonight. And my throat is itching like crazy. So there's something you're itching to say. Speak your truth. You blocking, shaming yourself, hiding yourself from what you truly desire is only going to make you miserable. So do your homework and decide. And I really appreciate myself. This sounds a little cocky, but really appreciate myself because I'm not telling you that you have a choice. You have a choice whether or not you're going to do it. But if you take action, there's no decision that needs to be made. The only decision that you need to make today, pile 4, is whether or not you decide to become someone who is in a co-creating control of their life, rather than someone who's consistently reacting and shaming themselves with the way that things turn out in their life. So are you going to make that change? All right, that's your tarot portion. Okay, pile 4. Loo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I apologize for my visceral sounding water drinking. But I needed it. Just like you need your folklore and or fairy tale to... I also want to clarify, I pre-shuffled all these cards. I just have a hard time remembering that I did that. But, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pull all your cards, go through any channel messages or anything that comes through, and then I will read your story. So may I please have a story to assist pile 4 in achieving their manifestation, please. Oh, I like that. Cool, 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 cool. All right. 8 of Swords. Okay. All right. I didn't do this for any other pile, but I wanna go into this pile 4 because this is strong. This is one of my favorite cards in all of tarot. It used to be the Tower, but now it's the 8 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords is all about trusting the process. And trusting and getting out of your head and getting into your body. It's like putting on blinders and covering your eyes. And you can even see there's like a little stitch detail on the eyes of the donkey. I don't know why I had to say it like that, but I did. Can you see it? Also, I'm so sorry for my nail. It's gross. Anywho, I don't know what's going on. Anywho, shot game. Every time I say anywho, put it on a t-shirt. So the 8 of Swords is all about getting out of your head and getting into your body and just trusting that deep down you know what to do. It's such an unsword sword card because the sword is the sweet of the mind. But here it's encouraging you to get out of your mind and get into your body and really listen to what's around you. Not around you, I'm sorry. Within you. And trusting the process, trusting whatever needs to happen happens. So this is very much like the answer to your Emperor card of one of the obstacles, where it's like trusting how things are going to turn out exactly the way... It might not be exactly the way you wanted, but it might be even better than what you've had imagined. All right. Please have a Clow card for pile 3, please. Pile 4. Oh, goodness, sorry. May I please have a Clow card for pile 4. We'll take those. Okay. Interesting. I didn't realize that we took 3. So we have the Sand. We have the Sleep. We have the Sword. Ooh. The Sword's a pretty popular card today. Alright, we've got the Keepers of the Oracle. Keepers of the Light Oracle. Goodness. Can we please have some divine guidance or wisdom for pile 4, please? Can we please have some divine wisdom for pile 4, please? Okay. Ooh. Lady Portia, Divine Order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Okay, and then we have the Sacred Creator Oracle. Please have a creator message for pile 4, please. Anything else? Interesting. Light in the unexpected, and Changemaker makes waves. See it? Sort of. Maybe we'll put these here. Change the layup a little bit. I don't know if you can see this. Changemaker makes waves. And then Light in the unexpected. And I just moved the entire spread over. Oh my gosh. And then we have Lady Portia, the Divine Order. And then her, again, was do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. get some channel messages for you. Any more? Okay. And to finish off, ooh, my little witch cackle, I'm sorry. Oh, 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 oh. All right. And then can we please get a passage for pile 4? All right. I didn't do this for the other piles. I'm going to do it for yours. We're taking both pages. Bite off more than you can chew, then chew it. That's that courage coming through to do it. Some people say I have an attitude. Maybe I do, but I think you have to. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. That's what that makes you a winner right there. Powerful, 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 powerful. Okay, so we have again the sand, the sleep, the sword. I can't recall whether or not I lifted these up, but I'll do it. Sand. Oh my god. Sleep. I actually just watched a TikTok where this little angel guy kind of looks like Cupid in that video. And then we have got the sword. Okay, and then these are make love a regular part of your narrative. You need to be kinder to yourself. You know better than this. And take that leap of faith. This is really exciting. We want to tell you how excited that we are. Well, here's the thing. You're going to learn whether you like it or not. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're deserving, whether or not you can, or whether or not you should. You will. You're going to learn whether you like it or not. But it's going to come in such an unexpected way that you are just going to be so surprised. You're probably dreaming about it a lot. But you're being called. Take control. Take control of determining what you want. And go for it. The more you do for yourself, the more of a wave you're going to make. We've been ready with inspired action for you for such a long time. We've been waiting for you to just finally make that decision. And once you do, we are here. It is in your plan to do what you want to do, but you have to have the courage to finally say it. You have to have the courage to finally go after what you want. You. Not anybody else. Not anybody else's dream. You. The love you have for yourself is dwindling, and it's time that you honestly trust. We are so excited. If you finally gotten to this point, you're in a good spot. But if you're coming to this after you've learned your lesson, listen to the homework. Do your homework. Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming because it's going to open your eyes. We're going to cut any ties of anybody who's standing in your way. No more. This is your time. Things that happened before are not going to be happening again, and you can take that any way that you want. But just know that there's a lot of grace and compassion here for you. Okay, so we also have, I'm seeing a lot of third eye chakra, a lot of purples. So purple might be an important color for you. Yeah. Okay, so we have, the Eight of Swords. Let me see what folklore that is. Donkey skin. Donkey. Maybe you're due for a Shrek rewatch. I know I am. I actually want to watch all of the Shrek universe at some point. Donkey. 117. Also, thank you for being the one pile that didn't get to. Because I was like, here, you can just screenshot it. Wait. Did I... What page was it? Oh my goodness. I wasn't... Nope. We're going to have to go back. Because I forgot. I was too busy talking. 117. Alright, so this is your story. You can screenshot if you want to read it later or pause the screen, but I'm going to read it for you in a few seconds. Okay. Alright. Donkey skin. There once was a handsome king who had a donkey whose droppings were gold. The king married the most beautiful woman in all the world, and together they had a daughter, and lived in peace in their prosperous kingdom. But one day, as the queen lay on her deathbed, she made the king promise not to marry again unless his new wife was as beautiful as she was. He agreed, and soon the queen died. Devastated, the king then tried to find a new wife, but realized that only his daughter was as beautiful enough to fill that promise. The princess was mortified and asked her fairy godmother for help. Her fairy godmother advised that she make impossible demands of her father before giving her consent. So the princess asked for a dress as bright as the sun, a dress as mysterious as the moon, a dress as brilliant as the stars, and last, a cloak made out of the skin of the marvelous gold-producing donkey. When the king did all of these things, including slaying the donkey that brought the kingdom wealth, they realized how determined the king was. The princess put on the donkey skin cloak as a disguise and fit all three of her dresses into a magical walnut. The princess fled to another kingdom, where she began to work in the kitchens of the royal castle. There she remained hidden in her ugly donkey skin, but on feast days she wore her brilliant dresses. The local prince happened to see her one day and fell in love with her at first sight. He grew sick with longing and refused to eat anything unless it was made by the girl in the donkey skin. The others balked at her ugliness, but the disguised princess made the prince a cake with her ring baked into it. He found it and said he would marry whomever the ring fit. When the ring failed to fit anyone else, the hidden princess came forward and slipped on the ring. She then changed into her splendid dresses and revealed herself. The prince and the princess were married and lived happily ever after. Okay, so I think this is a really great lesson for you to recognize that no matter what has happened in the past, that there's always a new opportunity. Even if you have to disguise yourself in donkey skin. But like even the princess, after going through all of that stuff with her father, which I don't give a crap. I will not tolerate incest. I understand that like this is very much a mythological folklore story, but she even still put conditions, even though there was a prince who wanted her hand in marriage. So just recognize that like no matter what you go through, you still, even if things don't turn out exactly the way that you thought they would, like you still have a level of control of having the desire to do so. So I hope that made sense. All right, pile 4. I believe I'm going to leave your reading here. If you enjoyed this reading, please like this video. Smash that subscribe button. And share this video for anybody else who you know is having some issues with manifestation blocks, and click that bell notification icon so that way you know the next time I upload a reading. Go ahead and follow me on all my social media. It is The Guiding Arrow. on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you, whether you're watching this day or night. And I hope that this was helpful for you. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. All right, bye.